we might end up in this sit-up guard from a few different ways. Could be that I was standing and Tim's just stepped in and I grabbed the knee, or I could have like forced that position. I could have hooked, grabbed, and then like taken my inside hook out to get into the seated guard position. Could be that we're playing underhook half guard. So if we go down onto your knees, yeah, I get the underhook, Tim stands up, and I've gone to the seated guard from here. This is really common. Could have been playing reverse de la Riva, like this, and Tim's backing away a little bit. I do this little push, arm drag, pull, and get up to the seated guard from here. So we're working the sit-up guard now, which is basically when I get a hold of Tim's leg. There's a few options I've got when we get into this position. The first one and the most obvious one is going for the single leg. So I'm going to come up and attack the single leg takedown from here. I'll go through a few options to finish the single leg as well. We can switch to modified X from here as well. So if Tim does step forward at all with this leg and that's in reach, we have the ability to reach underneath and switch to the modified X guard. And our other option from here, really common, is to go to shin, like this, where we can work to get towards single X. Another option from the seated guard, we can try to force them down to like a knee cut position where we get the underhook. So we can actually force them down and end up in this position to try start setting up Jedi Mind Trick or the dogfight. I've got a few options if I'm on top of the seated guard. One of them is to try to force a headquarters position here like this, force Tim back on his back where I can start trying to set up attacks from here. If I'm able to pummel an underhook, if he didn't have a good enough grip, then I can start to go for the knee cut and try to finish the knee cut from there. There's a few submission options from here. I can start looking for the guillotine grip from here and try to finish that, or I can be diving over, reaching for the Kimura grip here too, to try to attack the Kimura. Another option people might use is the back step. So from here, some people will try to back step and force this position, or potentially force a leg lock scenario. Some really important concepts and things to be thinking about when we're playing the seated guard. First of all, get good at doing this. It's a forward attacking style, which means if you need to push the action, you can actually be really aggressive, okay? See on my back playing guard like this, if Tim's not engaging much and this is my main game, he can sit there for ages, okay? When I'm coming forward at him, I'm forcing the jiu-jitsu action upon him, and he's gonna have to react to that. So it is a really good guard to play if you need to start forcing something to happen, and it is really good and effective for finishing sweeps too. Okay. A few things that are really important. First of all, what's really bad is if Tim gets his knee to the left side. I cannot let this knee go down this side of my body. Okay. This is going to be horrible. So I'm always focusing on keeping the knee center or to the inside. Okay. Tim, when I've got my arm around his leg so tight like this, he doesn't want a knee cut. If he puts his knee down, this is going to be worse for him. Okay? I'm always wanting to get side on to Tim as well. So right now, Tim can potentially drive me back. Okay? His knee's in the center of my chest, and he can potentially drive me back because he's facing towards me. I really want, as soon as possible, to get side on to the knee. Yeah. Okay? Try and drive me back now, Tim. He's trying to square up, so I'm going to keep saying side on to Tim. It's going to make it very difficult and easy for me to get up with a single. I have to be like shoulders forward in front of my hips, okay? So don't try and play seated guard like this. They're going to knock you back immediately. Okay? So you always want to have, ideally, a post behind you and have your shoulders forward like this. So my hips are back, but my shoulders are forward and I'm attached to the leg. Now it's much harder. If Tim does try to drive me back, I can definitely work around that. Another thing, which which is really important to be thinking about, is not letting Tim get the underhook. Okay, if Tim gets the underhook, that's how he's going to disconnect my grip from the leg. Okay, now he's got full access to go for the kneecap. This forward pressure is also really important to help prevent Tim from doing actions such as the back step. So when Tim goes to back step and my shoulder is forward, it's actually really hard for him to sit down on top of my leg. If he tilts me back, now he can back step without me being able to block him too easily from going that way to the foot. I also want to be getting my right leg, my knee here, nice and close to Tim's ankle. It helps to trap his foot in space and stop him from getting outside the leg too much. Again, this is also assisting, especially when I go out towards the side. Really important point with this position of my arm for the single leg. I'm trying to get my elbow as deep as possible and control with the forearm to keep the knee like tight to the chest here like this. Especially early on, I often, especially while he's going for the underhook and so on, I don't want the knee cut just yet. So I want to pull this nice and tight to me here like this. What's going to happen, you might feel more confident like holding the knee like this. But look at how do I stop the underhook here if I'm holding with my hand? Yeah, Tim's always going to have room to pummel for the underhook. Arm tight, pulling back, pummel and underhook now, Tim. If I cup the knee with my hand and try to hide the underhook, like Tim's gonna find an angle through that. There's too many gaps. I want my elbow all the way through and pulling back with my forearm. Okay, get the underhook now, Tim. That's gonna be very difficult to work for. All right, the single leg takedown. To do the single leg, I have to get side on to the knee, as I mentioned earlier. So if I'm front on, Tim can use this knee to drive me back. So I have to be getting side on to the knee. Nice post on my right hand and on my bottom hand, and my right leg, my bottom leg, is hooking around the ankle like this. Forward pressure, like this. Now there's two different ways we can get up with the single leg. But I want chest pressure forward like this. My left leg's posted on the mat. The best possible way with the single leg is that I post with my left leg and I retract my leg that's trapping his leg, and I keep his leg trapped. So I drive forward and I do like a technical stand up like this, and I've kept his leg pretty good in the middle here. Okay. So again, we're here, I retract and I keep hold of Tim's leg. I'm going to hold on to the knee. Again, I want the side of my chest on top of the leg here like this. I'll talk a little bit about head positioning. A couple of ways Tim's going to want to defend from here. One, he might be looking for the guillotine, which is really going to be troublesome for me. And you might feel like it's a good idea to like hide your head, but actually from here, it makes it easier for Tim to go for that or to stuff my head down. If Tim stuffs my head down, I can't get up like this. Okay, so when we go for the single leg, I actually want my head up and I kind of face it away a little bit. So if Tim wants to go for the guillotine, he's gonna have to dive for it. Yeah, if he goes for that, I can be off balance again and still working to stand up. So don't, as much as it feels comfortable and safe to keep your head tight on their leg, you're not gonna get up well here. They're gonna push, you're gonna have a horrible single leg. So we're gonna keep our head up. I'm gonna try and get up with our head unattached to them with good posture with our back and our neck. Shoulders back as well. Okay? So I'm gonna stand up like this, we retract the leg, and I'm up. Okay? Now that I'm here, I'm on the side of the leg. The first way to finish the single leg, head's gonna be next to the chest up here. Again, not too low, which is a really common problem. You can push my head down. Head up nice and high, near the chest here. I'm going to step in front with my right leg and back with my left leg. And I'm going to drag Tim's hips to them. Okay. So work from that finishing position like this. I step in front and then back, and then I'm going to pull Tim's hips down. So actually do like a little squat to drag him down. Have a look at that without Tim, just so you can see. Go here, I go back. As I step back, I'm lowering my hips, putting downward pressure, pulling on Tim's leg. If you think about a pull, if you think about like I'm really tight here, and I pull Tim's hips down, that's how you're gonna get it. It's not a push with your chest. So I think a lot of people think of it more like they're trying to push the leg down like that. This is not what I'm trying to do. I'm actually trying to pull the leg this way. Okay, I'm dragging it out from underneath. That's how I finish the single leg. This is running the pipe. All right, so again, we're here. Okay. Another common mistake with this, that people use their right shoulder. Okay. This is okay in wrestling, but not in jiu-jitsu. As soon as my head goes to the outside, there's the guillotine wrist. Okay? And there's a lot of counters you can possibly do here. So you might feel like you get better leverage, like switching shoulders, but again, that's you trying to push with your shoulders. Don't attach and drag. Okay, that's how we're gonna finish. Sometimes you get the leg here, like this, and when you go to get up, Tim's too heavy on this leg. He's driving into me too much for me to actually be able to retract his leg out underneath me. So again, ideally I wanted to pull this leg out, so you go light on that leg, I want to take his leg out. It's more important that I get up than it is that I track that leg. So my arms are the ones in the end that are going to control the leg anyway. So if I'm here and I find that Tim's heavy on that leg, I'm going to remove my foot this way, okay? So, around, sit. I'm here like this. I'm just gonna circle it through and back. I have to stay forward so that you can't actually drive me back when I do this, but I'm just gonna take my leg out behind me like this. I'm still holding the knee. I've still got my head pointing up, not down, where you can push my head down. So here, push on my head, Tim. I can get up, okay? Again, we can do the same finish from the single leg. One thing with head position, it's really common for Tim to like get low. Yeah, and like this. Now, if he's like this, I need to have really good posture. See how I'm straight up like this. Put all your weight on me, Tim. He still can't stop me, and he can't close the gap for me getting up. Okay? My head is a physical block. If you bend your spine, if you do that and I look down, he will totally collapse me. I'm gonna end up here like this. So when he's pressuring in like that, your head is actually stopping him from closing the gap. Going into, my head's here like this, and I can get up. Okay, I've got the leg behind the knee, slightly on the side. We're good to do our attacks. Some other options, if Tim's driving into me, so I'm trying to get up, he's driving back into me. Like this, maybe I don't feel like I can get the single X, the shin to shin position. Maybe his knees cut through a little bit more, like on that angle, so I'm actually a little bit worried about that. He could have even got part of an underhook, like this, okay? We can fall down to a reverse de la Riva. We can transition to reverse de la Riva here. This is our safeguard. So as he starts going towards the kneecap, we can go here. But I actually like to keep my hand in the middle here, okay? Because then when I bump Tim forward, I'm already ready to get back up on a good angle for the single leg. So again, when my aim here is really, if I can get Tim's weight forward, this is a massive advantage to me. Okay, so again, we're here, both feet in, reverse de la Riva, kicking up immediately, swinging back, and getting my angle while his hands are planted. So again, here, if I drive into me, it can be hard to get around the corner. He's gonna track me. But as soon as I make his hands go down, I get around the corner really good. All right, so when I get up, one common problem with the single leg, or if I can do this, is that I'm not able to get him down with that running the pipe action. So I managed to get up, I'm here like this. Often it's if Tim's leant forward a little bit, yeah. So if he stays leaning forward, I step and I try to pull, and I can't get him down, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna step behind this leg just to stop Tim from bending the knee fully, okay? Because I'm gonna be reaching to grab the leg. If I reach to grab a bent leg, it's gonna be really hard to get. So I put my knee behind the shin just to open a bit of space, and then I'm gonna reach down towards the heel. Okay, so try and bend your knee now, Tim. I've got good pressure to stop that. Now it's really hard to lift here, okay? Because he can be heavy on that. So I try and lift the leg, that's difficult. So I'm gonna push into Tim with my head to make space, okay? I push him and then I retract myself. It makes him light on that leg. Come on, again. Here like this, I push into Tim, and that helps me lift the leg up, yeah? Be heavy with that leg, Tim. Okay, now, legs up to here. This is definitely not our full end position yet. It's gone from my shin to my heel, uppercut mid shin, then I switch hands and get my shoulder on the knee, holding the knee. Depending on their flexibility, I'll just be nice and keep it here. I'd have the foot on the shoulder, nice and easy to trip them down from there. Pretty much once the leg's on the shoulder, they're pretty much done. Unless they know how to back flip. So again, we're here. We get up, I'm gonna push in, pull up, get the leg on the shoulder, and it's a nice easy trip. I got the single leg here like this. One thing Tim might do is put his foot towards this side. Okay, so now it's very hard to, while that foot's out there, to get the full pressure to take him down that way. Obviously I can't grab that leg and lift it up, so I can, from here, push away again with my head, but this time lift this knee on this side. Nice and high like this, okay? Right behind the knee, and arching my back, okay? If I stay bent forward, if he starts sprawling, none of these legs strong enough to pull that away. Once I arch and my hips are underneath it, he's not getting that leg back. So again, we're here, his foot goes to the outside, pull up, nice and high like this. Okay, from here, nice easy takedown. Be careful, like don't let go for too long, because they're gonna start trying to break the grips. But I'm gonna reach to the back of the head, pull him close, step behind. We're doing an easy trip to finish this. So when we come to finishing the single leg, really what we want to do is mix those three different types of attacks together. So we've got running the pipe. I might first go to do this. Tim's resisting, push, and try to get him up. Okay. So I use my head to push and get him up. If he starts bringing the foot to the outside, I can try to lift, but sometimes he's really aware, he keeps that heavy. Okay, what I'm going to do, I will run the pipe again. My left shoulder's on top. I can step. I'm pulling back through using that same motion as before. And again, linking that all together. Sometimes the foot's on the outside. I go to run the pipe, but that doesn't work. But what's happened? I've swung his foot back to the inside so I can come back through and come underneath the leg. So all these attacks have to link together. There's no way to get around it. You have to actually specific train and get a feel for these particular techniques. So this time Tim is squared up and he's driving into me. So if he's got a lot of force and he's front onto me, I will not be able to come up for the single leg. That's where shin to shin can be a really good option. So Tim's driving me back. I'm going to scoot my hips back a bit further. Okay, have a look at that. Right now, driving into me, Tim. Actually, let's just the first thing I want you to look at. Watch the angle of his leg when he drives into me. So first of all, don't drive into me, Tim. Hard to get shin to shin here. Okay. Watch the angle of his leg. Yes, he's giving me a gap. Okay. If he wants to drive into me, his knee comes forward relative to his foot. So I'm trying to get up, or around the corner, he drives in. I can feed my shin now. Okay. Again, we're here. Tim drives in, I get the shin to shin. First option here is going to be to go to single leg X. Okay, so once I got the shin to shin, I'm going to fall to my side, to my right side, like this, lift my foot in the air to flare his foot outwards, and I shoot my hips up to catch single legs. Let's look at that from the other angle. So I've got my shin to shin now, I'm holding the knee, I fall to my side. This makes his leg light. So imagine I usually will even block this leg or hold that leg in. You can pull that leg in, but it allows me to take Tim's weight on his left leg. I'm thinking Jeremy because of the leg locks. Lift, and rotate. See, I'm twisting his leg, similar to the half guard sweep. Twisting his foot out, and then I shoot my hips up. The catch, immediately securing low on the ankle. So when I fall to the side, I want to, let's go this angle. I want to put pressure on the knee, similar to the half guard sweep. So I'm pushing in with my arm and flaring the foot out to twist his knee and his hips away from me a little bit. I lift up until the foot comes over the top, and as that does, I shoot my hips up and I block low on the ankle. If Tim drops his knee on me and steps back with this foot, this is not an ideal single X position for me. Okay, so what I want to do very early on, as soon as I catch it, grab the heel. Really, the attacks from this are probably beyond the scope of this particular series, but the main one we do from here is we try to turn the knee outwards and tilt them over and come on top.
Alright, with this one, what I want you to see is I'm going to end up with the shin to shin into the single X. So I've got the shin to shin. Lockie blocks it well. I've gone to reverse Della here for a moment, but I managed to get back up and back onto the leg. Okay, so I'm back into the shin to shin. Now the key thing to look at is how much I threaten the forward and the backwards. So you can see I'm really trying to pull him like onto me and elevate right now, but as soon as he resists, I even try a little double leg there just to get him driving back into me. The more he drives into me, the easier he is to elevate. Okay, so here he's leaning backwards, and in a moment I'll go to come up. Okay, now he has to drive forward again. So you really need this back and forward action to elevate. And you see I'm having trouble. Lockie's a very good brown belt, so he's very good at centering his weight. I think we reset for a moment. I go again in a moment, and I do manage to get the entry. Okay, so here we are, out of position for a moment. I'm back into shin to shin again though, and now I got his weight forward enough that I managed to elevate and attach to the leg into the single X.
Deciding between going for the single leg and shin to shin is based on whether Tim is driving into me or not. So if he's driving into me a lot and I'm not around the corner, then the shin to shin is a good option. His leg being bent like that allows me to get my shin to shin. If he's not driving in, or I'm able to get around the corner like this, where he actually can't really drive in properly, then the single leg is a much better option. Once I'm around here, trying to go shin to shin is definitely not a smart idea. Okay, so we're really looking to try to get up. So if they're facing you, knee bent, driving you back, shin to shin. If you're around the corner, single leg. So Tim does start to get an underhook. Let's just say it was a shallow one like this, okay? Sometimes if it's pretty shallow, this cannot be that beneficial for Tim. But let's say it's like shallow to moderate. I can still go for the single leg X entry. So I will have to, because of the shallowness of that, I will have to actually change to like a bit more of a cup here like this. I wanted to prevent it by having my elbow deep, but it was before that happened, and the best I can do is just cup and hold tight the knee to the chest, okay? So Tim's gonna be trying to drive me back, and he's trying to feed that underhook deep. I can still go shin to shin, and even with that underhook there, if I can force my shoulder down to this side, lock the leg, I should be able to twist the leg, okay? See how low his knee is? I don't want it on the ground, okay? That's gonna be a problem, that's gonna be hard to flick the shin back. Just go back a fraction. But if his leg's a little elevated, so I'm pulling it towards me a little bit, and I start rolling my hips from left to right. Okay, so let's have a look from this angle a bit. You can see. Okay, my feet are gonna roll from my right hip to my left hip, or as much as I can, like this. Don't kick up here. If I kick up and try and lift, he flicks off. So I'm keeping this hook to keep his leg in place, and I just like swing out this way. Okay, it flares his foot out, and now that it's flared, I can kick through. All right, I'll show you how I do that. Let's just kick through, pull back, and we can attach to the single legs. So from here, I'm going to swing my leg out. Now, I can't kick through this way. If he flicks there, now he's really got good positioning. Okay, so I have to kick with my knee going on the inside of the ankle, and then I flare out. It's going to rotate the knee like this, turns him away. I help with my hand, and we catch the single X, lift our hips. We're in a good position for leg attacks. We're here. I got the single leg, like I've got this grip around the knee. Tim gets the underhook like this, and he starts to get pretty close to the knee cut being completed. Okay? Sometimes this shin to shin is not available. So I'm here like this, I can't get my shin to shin, but I can sometimes get my right foot as a shin to shin. Yeah? And this right one, as I roll through, can then feed to the left. And I start to turn him out, catch the single legs. Again. And I'm here, I can be laid through, and he can have his foot close that I cannot get my left shin to shin. I'm trying to sit up, my right foot can come in, like this. Really watch how low you let this knee go. I want to turn it out now, feed it to the left shin to shin, and then a lot of pressure turning his knee out, kicking through, and pulling your leg back. Yeah. So I can't, he might be too close, I can't get this left shin to shin. Sometimes I can scoot back and get a right shin to shin, point my knee up to open it out. Okay, so now my left one can take it, flare the foot out, kick through, and we can reclaim our single legs. Sometimes when you get the shin to shin, the main way I want to go towards single X from here is to fall to the side and lift like that. So that's the main way I want this to occur. But when Tim really like sinks his weight back, so kind of like squat low, like knee forward, squatting, yeah, squatted low. It can be hard to fall to the side. Like I just don't feel like this is gonna work from here. So what I try to do here is I really try to make him post. I actually fall straight on my back and try and make him post over the top as I do that. Okay, so this, I really like get a bit of momentum with this, and I use this hook to lift as well. So even my shin to shin hook will like lift to get him posted. Okay, so again, let's go from front on. Slight angle. So Tim's squatted low, I can't fall to the side. I don't want to like take my shin out and start trying to go somewhere else, because this isn't going to help me much because of the angle of his shin here. So I really have to get his hands on the mat. I fall back with a good amount of momentum and I kick up. Okay, as soon as his hands post, reach to the armpit, turn your angle. Now that he's 90 degrees, we've got a great chance of coming in and attaching to the single leg X position. Sometimes I want to bring Tim's, I can't fall to the side because he's so low, but sometimes he's like so far back that I even try to like rock back and I can't. So I go like this, I stay real low with your hips. And I do this and he still won't go, okay? From here, I'll often start trying to do like essentially like a double leg or like an ankle pick. If you want, there's actually a few options from here. Even if I can't pull him forward, I sometimes push away with my shin like this. Okay? This helps me like sit forward more. So you can see my shin, this shin's stopping me sitting up. If I push away, I get more forward, okay? Enough that I can grab this leg. So again, Tim's nice and low. I can't get him forward, I kick away, catch this leg. And once I've got both, now I've got both legs, it's sort of like a double leg. I just gotta get up to my knees, drive, and we get the takedown. Yeah. So here we go, to go back, I can't, I push forward, lean into it, and we get our takedown. The other option I've got from here, sometimes I'll retract this leg and come up. So I go like this, it's not working. I might take this leg back, drive, and I've just tucked my foot as close to my butt as I can and come up for the single leg. Again. I go to bring Tim forward, I can't. I can take this leg this way, drive, and come up into the single leg. This is a common theme, but throughout the half guards, but we can go towards the modified X if Tim gives me access to this leg. So for whatever reason he steps forward, I'm going to reach underneath. Usually, again this time I'm not worried about him cross facing me because he's so high. Even if he's squatted low, and the cross face is not a very likely scenario here. So I'm just going to roll straight for the knee this time. Turn on my side and bring Jeremy forward like this. Okay, really try and knock him forward so his hands are on the. Jeremy again. Knock him forward so his hands are on the mat. And we're going to push away, take the stand out, and finish from there. Now, I've covered these details a few times in other videos. So if you want to check more details on this, there'll be a section on it in the knee shield section and in the reverse delta heater section for the details on how to finish that. Let's just quickly revise the entry again. So for this one, we're here like this. Tim steps forward. I'm going to reach underneath the leg, keep my right leg tight, and we're going to try to bump him forward like this. It's not the end of the world. If he stands up, so if he stays tall, it's not the end of the world. I just extend from here, okay? When I extend from here, he'll either fall over or we'll lean forward. And here we are, ready to get up. I can force the knee cut, and given that Tim doesn't have the underhook, it can be a really good position for me to end up in. So I'm grabbing around the leg, and I put my knee, sorry, my thigh behind my elbow, like this, to reinforce the pull. I'm gonna just force his knee down right to here. It can be real advantageous if you do this, first off to like reach for the far leg, okay? Because if I can get two legs together, force Tim down, his base is very compromised and there's no immediate back step because I'm holding this leg. Alright, from here, we can either come up to here, or because we've got both legs, just like before, we can start to come out behind to work for an attack there. Again, let's have a look at this from this side. Hold the knee, and I'm going to put my own knee right behind my elbow and move like my head away out this way at the same time. Okay? So I don't want to pull into a crossface onto my back here like this where it squash me. I move my head away like this and go to this position, or we do it again, or reaching to this leg, pulling in and catching from here. This is something that can come from this position. It can come from other spots in half guard too, but it's the double leg trap. It's actually really effective, and not many people use this, but I'm going to try and get both of Tim's knees together. So sometimes here, as you go to bump forward, you get a chance to take your inside leg out and bump. See, I'm knee him in the butt, and I can pull his feet together like this, okay? And I lock my hands together like this. So Tim now has very, very poor base. I got a good chance at coming up and getting the sweep, but I actually like to do the same sort of thing that I do from the Jedi Mind Trick. So if you watch that series and get a feel for that sort of movement, you'll start to work out where to go from here. But let me just give a bit more insight. So I'll be here, and Tim's moving around. I shoot through, bring his legs in towards me, and I catch and pull his knees together, and then I remove from being one hand to both hands together, like this. If I'm finding it hard to get up here, often what I do is I take both knees to the other side. Just keep them together, because you don't want to get caught in mount. But I'm going to lock my feet, lift up, keep balancing, Tim. And I take his legs to the other side, where I can get a really good hip grip. Okay? Usually from here, because he's posting, I can change my leg. Let's turn a little bit. I change, so one of my legs curls through and controls both of Tim's. Can you see that? But now that he's over here, my one leg curls and controls both of Tim's legs. So I just curl back towards my hips and push my hips in. He's stuck, and I can bump him forward. It's really hard for Tim now to stop my head poking out the back, and I can start working towards the back from here. Okay. Just like a similar sort of motion to the Jedi Mind Trick. I can do that from here. And sometimes I'll do this even from a half guard. There's a few competitions where I've used this particular technique as well. I can be going for the half guard sweep, usually with the knees out, so like a knee cut sort of position. Here like this, Tim standing up on that outside leg, bump forward, catch. Yeah. Just that little bump in the knee and the butt will make that foot light, catch the shin and curl in towards me, pull the knee in. And then it's usually really good, because he's low and heavy, to actually try to change the side of the legs. I can try to get up here, but it's generally, if I knee him in the butt, start to take him over this way, I get full control of the hips. I can just keep my legs together if I want as well. Come up and really tie Jeremy Tim up. Yes. So this is something that I use to set up leg locks. I haven't shown anyone this before, as far as I'm aware, there's very similar entries I've seen, but I haven't seen anyone do it from this exact position before. So I call it the false reap. I've got my my seated single leg position here. I'm going to roll to my back and I'm going to reap across the knee like this. Now technically, even in IBJJF, this shouldn't be a reap because his foot's still behind my hips. Okay? So I've fallen back, made a bit of a gap, and swung my leg through, and then I'm going to hook underneath this far leg, really towards the hips here, like this. My aim is to free my right leg. So I'm going to keep both hands together, try and pull Tim's knee to the ground, and kick forward. Okay? So I pull his knee down, and I kick like this to knock him off base. Okay? At the same time, my right foot is going to the ground, helping me lift. It gives me extra power for this. Okay? Now, Tim will be trying to straighten that leg and trying to stop me freeing my leg. But all I have to do, grab the shin with my right hand, push it up, swing through, and I chop this right leg down into the saddle. And we get the finish. Better look from another angle. Yeah. So I've got my single leg position. I swing my leg over and hook near the hips. Now, both hands are clasped together the whole time, like this. I swing over, hook high on the hips, like this. And I put my right foot on the ground to get me, I really want to get his weight forward. So I put my right foot on the ground, push and lift, and I start to almost invert. So Tim's trying to track. I let go with my right hand, grab his shin, push it up, and I shoot my knee behind. I now just want to bend his knee because I'm in the saddle now. Okay, so I want to bend the knee as much as I can, curling my knees tight, catching the heel, and we're through to the finish. One thing you might find is that people keep really low and make it difficult to, so keep your chest low, and make it difficult to get your leg through, okay? Don't let their knee go to the mat here because you won't get the technique anymore. So keep the arms tight, but I'm gonna need to like swing my head out this way and like shuck the knee forward, okay? It makes it a bit easier to get through the gap, okay? So I kind of move away a little with my head, but still keeping the knee up and tight with this grip. And it gives me more range to get that leg through, especially if he's keeping that gap really tight. So when I get the false reap here like this, this is awesome if Tim's knee's down, I'm really highly likely to end up in the saddle. So I can push here, spin and go for the saddle here and land in the saddle. One reaction you might come across, this happened to me at Polaris actually, and I got too greedy. I should have gone to the option that I should have went to, that I had been practicing, which is, so this time Tim stands as tall as, like straighten this leg, yeah, and stand back. So we're here like this, all right? What I want to do here is I just want to get attached to the far leg, okay? So all I'm going to do, I use my hook, I try to bring Tim forward, so he's going to posture appropriately to stop that. I just want to reach to this far leg, grab the knee, and I can shoot under to attach to a single X on this far leg, which can obviously lead to leg locks as well. The mistake I made, which if you want to watch that match, watch the Polaris match I had, is I tried to still shoot for the saddle. So I came up, shot my leg back, but it's hard to like beat the knee line. It's nice if Tim lets me, but in reality, and I did, I slipped a little too low. Okay, so when they stand tall from this false reap, like this, what we want to do is kick forward until we can reach this far leg, let go, and shoot through, touch the far leg. Really important point with this position of my arm for the single leg. I'm trying to get my elbow as deep as possible and control with the forearm to keep the knee like tight to the chest here like this. Especially early on, I often, especially while he's going for the underhook and someone, I don't want the knee cut just yet. So I want to pull this nice and tight to me here like this. What's going to happen, you might feel more confident like holding the knee like this. But look at how do I stop the underhook here if I'm holding with my hand? Yeah, Tim's always going to have room to pummel for the underhook. Arm tight, pulling back, pummel an underhook now, Tim. Let's get it. If I cup the knee with my hand and try to hide the underhook, like Tim's gonna find an angle through that. There's too many gaps. I want my elbow all the way through and pulling back with my forearm. Okay, get the underhook now, Tim. That's gonna be very difficult to work for. So Tim does start to get an underhook. Let's just say it was a shallow one like this, okay? Sometimes if it's pretty shallow, this cannot be that beneficial for Tim. But let's say it's like shallow to moderate. I can still go for the single leg X entry. So I will have to, because of the shallowness of that, I will have to actually change to like a bit more of a cup here like this. I wanted to prevent it by having my elbow deep, but it was before that happened, and the best I can do is just cup and hold tight with the knee to the chest, okay? So Tim's gonna be trying to drive me back, and he's trying to feed that underhook deep. I can still go shin to shin, and even with that underhook there, if I can force my shoulder down to this side, block the leg, I should be able to twist the leg, okay? See how low his knee is? I don't want it on the ground, okay? That's gonna be a problem, that's gonna be hard to flick the shin back. Just go back a fraction. But if his leg's a little elevated, so I'm pulling it towards me a little bit, and I start rolling my hips from left to right. Okay, so let's have a look from this angle a bit. You can see. Okay, my feet are gonna roll from my right hip to my left hip, or as much as I can, like this. Don't kick up here. If I kick up and try and lift, he flicks off. So I'm keeping this hook to keep his leg in place, and I just like swing out this way. Okay, it flares his foot out, and now that it's flared, I can kick through. All right, I'll show you how I do that. Let's just kick through, pull back, and we can attach to the single legs. So from here, I'm going to swing my leg out. Now, I can't kick through this way. If he flicks there, now he's really got good positioning. Okay, so I have to kick with my knee going on the inside of the ankle, and then I flare out. It's going to rotate the knee like this, turn Tim away. I help with my hand, and we catch the single X, lift our hips. We're in a good position for leg attacks. We're here. So this time, this time Tim gets a deep underhook like this, okay? I will not be able to get a good shin to shin here. Very hard to get single legs. You could possibly try for it, but I got to be thinking defense now, okay? So I'm going to start, because of how deep that is and where his knee's starting to go, I'm going to go straight, really look for a reverse de la Riva with frames to get his head back up. So turn around, like here like this. From here, I'm gonna keep this knee tight, let go, start pushing the head, and start trying to get my left foot back in front. At the very least, keeping this gap closed, even if Tim manages to keep the underhook, the frame will help me start to dig my own underhook, like this. Okay? It might end up in our Jedi mind trick position. So Tim gets deep underhook, like this. I'm gonna keep my knee tight, roll to the side, and we're gonna pummel that arms through, trying to get good positioning to set up a different style of attack. Maybe Tim's driving a little more towards the knee being across, not so much of a knee cut. I'm not going to try and go reverse De La Riva here like this. Yeah, you can see that's going to be a problem if I try to do that. So from here, and again, I might not be able to get shin to shin. I'm going to block this knee. So why? So that he can't step forward to post. He can't step forward with this leg or this leg. He's going to have to use his hands. I block the leg. I'm going to kick him right in the hips with my right up the butt with my right leg. I'm going to stop this knee from, I really have to stop this knee from going towards the left side of my body here, because that's going to be very bad. Okay, so, but to stop that, I'm using my arm pushing across like this. So Tim's trying to drive that way. I block the leg, kick, and then pendulum here. Feet in the air, lift your butt off the ground, and then swing around the corner. You can come up for the single leg or towards the back. Sometimes Tim will try to pressure back into headquarters like this, putting pressure down with this right leg, which gives him a really good chance of pummeling. There's no threat now for him pummeling the underhook. When he pummels the underhook, he's got all the time in the world, and then once he gets it, he'll often look to go back towards the knee cut across here. Okay, so I need to be really trying to stop myself getting in the headquarters. So to do that, like, I'm always moving my hips out to this side. So as Tim starts trying to drive that knee across, it really should be really hard for him to get to the headquarters. We're keeping a constant movement here, but sometimes it will happen. If you can, reaching underneath, bringing him forward, modified X-guard sweep. Otherwise, if we actually do get stuck in the headquarters, so once he's established the position, to me, one thing that's really important, I don't think a lot of people think about, is head positioning. So if Tim either wants to flare my knee out and close the gap, or smash the leg and close the gap. Both of these are going to be bad for me. So I'm going to start trying to sit up. I'm going to keep his knee from being on the ground, so I'm pulling my left knee up a little bit here, like this. And I start trying to put my head underneath Tim's chin. Okay, so try and get a good body control on me here, Tim. I start posting behind me, pushing up with my head, and lifting him back up. Okay. Once his head's up high, you can see here, I'm getting room now to shoot a shin to shin. He might have the underhook, but I've actually got good angle now with this shin to shin to lift and go through to single X. Yeah. Tim is here like this. I don't let this knee go to the mat. I'm going to start trying to square up a little bit and get my head underneath Tim's chin. Okay. Start getting up on this hand and putting my foot to the mat. I have to like feet on the mat and start scooting back. I want to get back up to the seated position. Being flat here is not good. Okay. So here, head's coming out, left foot's on the mat, scooting back so I can get shin to shin, and then I lift Tim's foot up, flare it out, and we take single legs. One thing Tim might try to do is back step. One reason for that would be to get to the saddle. But another is just to make it so he can either just straight out backstep and try to pass, like this, and pass around this way. So we want to stop the backstep. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but let's just go a little more specific now. My shoulder being forward of my hips and pressuring in like that. All right, backstep now, Tim. Should be next to impossible, okay? So if he does he really has to do like almost like a capoeira kick, which is just gonna let me go on top. Yeah, good. And I chase on top. He really won't backstep if I'm in that position. But I want Tim to come forward a bit more here. So when he's backstepping, if I can, I'll catch the foot with my right leg. So go to backstep, Tim. I want to catch this, bump him forward, and I grab onto this leg. Okay, from here, if I get this leg good, I can feed it to my other hand, and we just start driving through for the takedown. So here like this, Tim goes to backstep, I catch, lift. Okay, I roll to my back and lift, and I'm reaching for this ankle. Okay, because when I get his knees together, Jeremy's in a lot of trouble. I'm on the ankle now. Jeremy. Why am I doing this? It's like I've had a stroke or something. I can't remember your name.
I think you might have done.
Oh wow. It's been a long day, guys.
It's been a long day.
Alright. So Timothy goes to backstep. I catch and like roll to your back, lift, and try to reach for this leg. If you miss the leg, that's fine. Let's say he steps a bit wider, that's fine. I come up into our Jedi mind trick position from here. Is that fast?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I used the wrong leg then. Okay. Or just another option, especially if you miss with your first leg, is to catch with your second leg. Okay, this is still not good for and not a good position for Tim, or at least it's not as good as having backstep and potentially being able to catch the leg here like this. So I go back to that position. I can catch with this leg, and then a little grip change. Right hand to the knee, like this. Left hand as an underhook. As he comes forward, I'm getting up on my elbow. We're in good position to come out towards the back. Jedi mind trick. If Tim backsteps, but I'm staying forward like this, I can actually switch to a single leg from here. So as he's here, I can change my feet like this, reach my left hand to the shin here, drive in with my head, and start to come up straight into that leg on the outside position. Okay, so again, I might look from this angle. If Tim's backstepping, but he's trying to backstep, but I'm forward, I can change my feet. Okay, reach to here, and we start to get up. Change for the single leg there. Do that fast. Okay, so actually posting on my hand here, be wary of them trying to go for the armbar. So if you feel their weight suddenly shift, you have to remove that, and then you just you're in good position anyway. But my hand here posting drives his weight forward, which means I can start reaching to the ankle, lifting it up, and coming up for this leg. Okay. Once more, let's get fast. So defending the guillotine, really to stop Tim from guillotining, I don't want to have my head too close, floating in space. I could make it more difficult keeping it tight, but it also doesn't help because he can push my head down and mess with my head position. So really, although I've got the leg to my chest, I want good posture with my chest forward like this. So I can still be driving forward and having my head back. If he wants the guillotine here, he's gonna have to dive, okay? And that's a much better scenario for me. I can react off that. So if he goes to dive for the guillotine, I can roll back, bring my head, and escape. This head position is also really good for defending the Kimura. If my head's down here like this, Tim has access to the Kimura with a small dive. Yeah, he catches that like that. With my head up in front of his access to that arm, if he wants to Kimura, he's gonna have to really dive for it. All I have to say is you have to see it coming. Yeah? If you don't see it coming, you don't realize that this is a possibility that they go for this, there's a fair chance they catch it, and it's not a great position to be in if they do. But if you see it coming as they dive and you remove your arm, they end up in a pretty compromised position. So Tim dives for the arm, move it out of the way, come on top, or dive over your right shoulder as well. You can roll on top. So our main attack is going for the single leg, like this. So we want to get around the corner and start coming up for the single leg. There's a bunch of different techniques that we cover there to finish that. If Tim drives into me a lot, I want to scoot back, get shin to shin, and we go through to single leg X guard. If this leg's ever available, we're going to come underneath, use our modified X guard. Anytime you're struggling for position, if you can bump them forward, get their hands on the mat, then you can usually come back up on a good angle for the single leg. So Tim will be doing a variety of things. I can bring him forward, come out to the side. I got my single leg from there. If he gets the underhook, early recovery, so before it's too deep, we can start working for the shin to shin, and this can still be very effective. Late stage if he gets an underhook, we're going to have to aim and get back to our reverse de la Riva, or potentially even recovering from our knee cut position, staying tight against the leg. If Tim's trying to backstep, we stay forward. We can use our legs, either leg like this, to keep him forward, and then we start trying to attack. Once he's gone back in, we can start to attack from there.